widespread. There's not been any single area that's been a focus of traffic accidents this morning. Tricia, you've been counting more than 25 at this point.
Yeah, we do. We have a ton of accidents out there this morning, 25 to 30 accidents, plus numerous disabled vehicles, where we're getting reports that vehicles just can't make their way up hillsides or any road that has a little bit of an incline to it. So you do want to allow some extra time for those crews to get out and treat those steep roads. Earlier accident here across the Liberty Bridge, you can see still causing some very heavy delays coming from the tubes, 79 through those S-bends this morning. A little hard to make out the roadways at times. Also seeing traffic now building 65 since the last time we checked. And we do want to alert you that there's an accident on the Pennsylvania Turnpike between Pittsburgh and Irwin, as well as that speed limit reduction to 45 miles per hour on the Beaver Valley Expressway, where we had an earlier accident this morning between the area of Center and Monaca. Also seeing those heavier delays right now, Reed Street between Brackenridge and Kirkpatrick. This is because of an earlier accident. And this accident that Liz Kilmer is headed to the scene of on 228 still has the roadway closed roughly between Mars High School and Route 8. So in Middlesex Township, I'm getting tweets from people saying, I'm just sitting here, been sitting for over a half hour. What's going on? No word on how long it's going to be until that roadway does reopen. Parkway West, bumper to bumper both directions. Drive times, pretty much a half hour. Parkway East and 28, below that on the Parkway North, and then a 40-minute ride coming inbound on the Parkway West. Stephanie Allison, our meteorologist down in Washington County, has been keeping an eye on road conditions. Stephanie, I still see snowflakes there.
It is still snowing here. It's much lighter now. Visibility is not really an issue at the moment. That's been changing all morning long with those moderate to heavy bands that have been coming down. So a light snow right now, but as you can see just behind me, I want to show you, this is Route 19, and this is the traffic is headed north, as you can see, coming down the hill. They're going very slow. There's a lot of vehicles I've seen kind of sliding about, and they're moving slow because it is slick on the roadways here. So the slush is very slippery. It's also turning to a little bit of an icy slush in some spots this morning, and traffic is much slower now here, even though the roads look like they have been improving because you can actually see the lanes now. Earlier you couldn't even see the lanes, so that is a plus. But it is very slick, and there's a lot of slush on the roads that is kind of turning to that ice, so you want to make sure you take it slow. Also, the wind has been an issue with wind chills and you feel like temperatures in the teens this morning. That will continue, but the snow will continue off and on as we'll get those bands moving through here in a moderate, maybe not so heavy anymore, but certainly moderate bands at times. Light right now. We're going to continue to keep an eye on the roads for you in Washington County. Back to you.
We appreciate it, Stephanie. Again, we are 3 inches now, tying November 13th, the biggest snowfall of the winter. We're going to pause for a few moments so we can join live weather coverage on Channel 11. Weather Team 11 coverage at 7:55 as we continue our special coverage on a snow-filled and slick morning commute. Good Friday morning. I'm Catherine Amenta.
Good morning. I'm Gordon Lesh. We are in 11 alert. More than 450 school delays and closings. Scrolling two at a time at the bottom of your screen. And that includes Pittsburgh Public Schools. They are closed for the whole day.
We want to get you right out to Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist Scott Harbaugh. Scott, how long is this snow sticking around?
No, at least the good stuff, the steady stuff, is sticking around for another hour or two. But notice on Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar, we lose those brighter whites back through Ohio, so this will be a taper-off method over the next couple of hours. Visibility of Pittsburgh just improved to 2 miles, so we're starting to see that snow ease up just a little bit this morning. That will continue to be the case through the day. Temperatures in the 20s, wind chills in the teens, and it's going to be like that the rest of the day today. Total snowfall, most areas 2 or 3 inches, isolated spots up to 4. Tricia?
Scott, keeping an eye on an earlier accident this morning on the Liberty Bridge, coming through the tubes across the span, off to the side of the road, but want to give you that heads up. 28 through the Etna bypass, not too bad this morning. 65 is starting to build. Also had an accident 65 at Interstate 79. Accident on the turnpike between Pittsburgh and Irwin. We still have that speed limit reduction on portions of the Beaver Valley Expressway and I-80, and an accident this morning that is blocking right now lanes of 220 28 both directions at Davis Road in Middlesex Township. Drive times still around a 40-minute commute on the Parkway West. Mike Holden has been keeping an eye on those road conditions in the city this morning. Mike, what are we looking at now?
Pittsburgh's north side not looking too great at this moment. We can see a couple people still braving these elements walking past us. And then on top of that, too, Federal Street is extremely slick. The incline out here is problematic. I'll keep a close eye on this, and I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. NBC's Today Show is next, but we're going to continue our live coverage right now on all of our streaming apps and mobile devices.
And we'll have more live coverage right here on Channel 11 coming up at 8:25. Stay with us. Back to live streaming 8 a.m. and I think pretty much for the first time this morning we have some good news, and that Scott just said it is slowly starting to ease up, but he said make sure when you say it you emphasize slowly.
Yeah. Yep. Here's a live look from two of our Channel 11 traffic trackers right now. They've been out there all morning long. Snow started falling in the Pittsburgh area around 4 a.m. That's when it changed from the rain over to the sleet to the snow. And it has been falling through the entire morning commute, making a big mess out there.
If you had to wake up early this morning, we were there right along you. I don't know what I said. We came on at 4 a.m. because that's when the rain and the sleet started turning to snow, and we've been on ever since.
Good morning. I'm Gordon Lesh. Catherine Ametta here, and we've been taking you through this whole thing. The closings and delays, they started out trickling in the morning. Now we're up to more than 500, and that includes Pittsburgh Public Schools. They were originally going to do a half day, so instead of doing that delay and then the half day, they just canceled. But there are other school districts that have decided to close the whole day, including Cannon Mac, where my daughter goes. They sent out the alert. They are closing for the whole day, not just a delay there.
So let's talk about why we are closing schools. Scott, what's the deal? It is slowly starting to ease up.
Very slowly, but if we're going to do this kind of stuff, might as well do it on a Friday, get a 3-day weekend for some people. Kids are happy. Parents not so much so right now. Unless you're at work like Gordon, then you're in pretty good shape. Winter weather advisory continues until 1 o'clock this afternoon for all the counties shaded in. I mean, that's basically the entire Channel 11 viewing area. If you're watching us right now on the live stream, obviously, hopefully you have friends, family in the area, even if you're watching us from outside of the area. And hopefully they're safe this morning. About 3-4 inches of snow is what the total is going to be across the region by the time all is said and done. Now that the sun is up, that will help out the situation this morning. Don't get me wrong, we're not going to see any sunshine for the next several hours, but just with the energy you get from the daylight heating source, able to get those road crews to help out a little bit on some of those area roads. It's easier to get that snow removed and keep it removed as we go through the course of the morning. So I-79, 279 split. This is probably the best I've seen it look all morning. You can see all lanes of traffic. Don't get me wrong, there are still going to be some icy areas and some slushy areas, but now that the sun's been up for about a half hour and crews continue to work on the roads and the snow begins to ease up as well, we're starting to slowly see some better conditions. Route 28, Etna, still some snow in the middle of the lanes, but again, better situation than what we were looking at last half hour. And that includes the Parkway West at Robinson Town Center, where all lanes right now looking fairly wet, although you can see just a little bit of slush in some of the lanes. So again, you have to be out and about this morning. Just exercise caution. Live storm tracker, Doppler 11 radar right now. Starting to see some breaks in the snow, and that's going to continue to be the case as we go through the next couple of hours. We'll see those breaks continue. Still widespread light to moderate snow in Allegheny and Washington counties, but notice the brighter whites beginning to pull to the east. And then once you get to Cambridge, Ohio, this really begins to ease up in a hurry. So snow tapers off this morning. This afternoon, scattered snow showers. We're not going to completely shut off the snow, but at least we'll get rid of the steady stuff during the morning. The total snowfall from the storm system, generally 2 to 4 inches of snow. Most areas 2 or 3, 1 or 2 spots up to 4, then 3 to 6 inches as you head toward the Laurel Highlands. Channel 11's Mike Holden has been out throughout the morning with the varying conditions, not only in the weather, but the roads. And Mike, snow's starting to ease up just a little bit now.
A little bit here and there. That was like a deep sigh of relief here for a moment, because we can see the conditions are changing once again here on Pittsburgh's north side. However, I will say that with this, they're not great right now. Cars are still struggling to get down Federal Street. You have a lot of people driving, just like this guy right here in this silver car coming downhill. Hazards on, pumping the brakes as hard as you can go, literally pumping the brakes to the point of your foot hitting the ground in your car. And it's because these roads are so slick. Although they were treated several hours ago, and over the last 2.5, maybe 3 hours, I've not seen a single salt truck or a single plow, and we understand why. The crews have to prioritize, so they're not necessarily going to come to the secondary roadways, or I'm sorry, the primary roadways. They're going to go to, I can't even speak right now. They're not going to go to the secondary roads first. They will go to the primaries and then circle back. It's an entire system. As I'm watching out of the corner of my eye, though, I do want to point out this Port Authority bus right here over my shoulder. The Port Authority has put out an alert, basically saying, in short, prepare for delays. 20-minute plus delays this morning based off of the snowy conditions. And on top of that, too, people waiting at the bus stop. So I do want to note this. After talking with a lot of people this morning, they say bundle up, layer up. If you know you're going to be out for extended periods of time, it can be a troublesome situation. We'll continue to track these conditions from Pittsburgh's north side. Again, I'll keep a close eye, and as soon as anything changes or develops, I'll, of course, break back in. Reporting live from Pittsburgh's north side, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks, Mike. Stay safe out there. He's just talking about the Port Authority. Well, we're going to talk to someone who's been dealing with this messy morning, and that is Adam Brandoff with the Port Authority.
And Adam, in Mike's live shot there, we just saw one of your buses trucking along. How's everybody making out this morning?
Things are going surprisingly well. Road conditions aren't as dire as I think as most people think, but we do have about 20-minute delays throughout our system.
So, Adam, how long do you think that will take to get back on track then because of those 20-minute delays?
Well, it's sort of hard to tell right now just because the snow's still coming down. We do have crews out. We are sort of at the mercy of local municipalities and salt and plows.
And Adam, really quickly, what is the advice for commuters who are heading out and they're hearing that there is a delay? Should they still try to head out there on time? Should they hang back? Where can they check?
Yeah, so the best place to check is our Twitter account or our website at PGH Transit. Best advice would be to go out, bundle up, go out, and wait for your bus. If there are no cars coming down the road, that means the buses won't be able to pass through mostly those secondary roads. Call customer service if you have any questions, and they can be reached at 412-442-2000.
All right, good advice. Thank you, Adam Brandoff from the Port Authority. Again, 20-minute delays system-wide for the Port Authority this morning because of this winter storm.
Jennifer Tomazik on the breaking news desk, and I want to follow up with what's happening in Allegheny County with buses to what's happening in Beaver County. We just got this, this was faxed to us not too long ago, saying as of 8 a.m., the Beaver County Transit Authority, everything is back up and running now. I was looking back on their tweets. It looks about 6:30 this morning. They sent out a tweet saying that they were currently suspending service for at least 2 hours. But again, we just got this message here saying that the Beaver County Transit Authority is back in service as of 8 a.m. this morning. So that certainly is some good news for folks who are traveling around Beaver County. Back to you guys.
Jen, thank you. And really the issue out on the roads this morning, it's been everywhere. We were talking with Trish about a half hour ago. Is it one specialized location, one centralized location? And no, it's just Western PA.
And it's really been a timing issue because all of the people are hitting the roads when this snow is coming down, Tricia.
So we're keeping an eye right now with our Channel 11 traffic tracker along Route 51 in the area of the Liberty Tubes. We told you seeing some very heavy delays, 51 and 19 approaching the tubes because of several earlier issues this morning. We had a disabled vehicle inside the tubes, 2 separate accidents across the bridge. We're going to take a look at one of those in just a moment. Want to give you a heads up on that earlier accident we were watching in Butler County, 228 in Middlesex Township. That accident has since been cleared, still finding very heavy delays in both directions, but Liz Kilmer's been on the scene, and she told us that accident just cleared. Had that earlier accident coming across the Liberty Bridge, a little hard to see, but the vehicles are off to the side. But take a look at that heavy delay pushing back to the tubes, coming over toward Crosstown Boulevard, quite heavy and slow there this morning. Parkway West out in the area of Settlers Cabin, Boyce Road. Wanted to show you that for the most part, crews have been able to treat those mainline roads. But take a look at this on-ramp there. You can see where it narrows here coming onto the on-ramp. They get to the parkways first, and then they go over those on and off ramps. So a little extra caution there this morning. Parkway North in the area of Mount Nebo, pretty decent. You can make out both the right and left-hand lane, but again, keep in mind, many portions of the Parkway North around the area of Mount Nebo and Camp Horn Road are elevated, and those elevated areas is where the wind can whip underneath, cooling the road surface, could create some slick conditions. Accident on the Pennsylvania Turnpike, we're still watching eastbound between Pittsburgh and Irwin. Just getting reports of an accident, 79 in the Cannonsburg area. That accident is southbound, and then also 70 westbound at the 79 North Junction, getting reports of an accident in that area as well. Right now you can see 79 around Warrendale, headed up toward Butler County. Pretty decent this morning. 25-minute ride, Parkway East and 25 minutes on 28, excuse me. 35 to 40 minutes on the Parkway West. Now, I just mentioned those accidents, 79 around Cannonsburg and 70 westbound at the 79 junction, both there, Washington County. That's where Stephanie Allison has been all morning. Meteorologist Stephanie Allison in the McMurray area, I believe. Stephanie, you have seen snow all morning long.
Tricia, that's right. We were just in McMurray, and I want to tell you, this is Route 19 behind me. From McMurray, we are now down to the Meadowlands. There was a car that didn't quite make it up the hill coming over the crest from McMurray, the Cannonsburg area, McMurray, towards the Meadowlands. So that was in the right-hand lane. That's Route 19 southbound towards the Meadowlands. And I just saw 2 plow trucks just go past me right before you came to me. And look at these beautiful snowflakes flying this morning. So not too windy. Visibility is okay, but look at the snowflakes. This is gorgeous snow falling. If you don't have to be out in this, the kids are loving this. I know there's schools that are closed now, and they're going to get to spend the afternoon out in the snow. Let's talk about how much snow we have here. Let's take a look. In McMurray, not long ago, we had 2 inches. We're at 3 now in the Meadowlands. So this is where we're located currently. We've been going back and forth along Route 19 all morning long, just to give you an idea what the roads are like. They are slippery, and as I mentioned, a car didn't quite make it up the hill on Route 19, so they're not in great shape. If you don't have to be out in this, stay home. Let the crews clear the roads for you this morning. And the snowflakes are going to continue to fall here through your morning commute. We'll keep you updated throughout the morning here in the Meadowlands. Back to you.
Stephanie, thank you. If you're sitting at home and you love that ruler as much as we do, we all went like this, wait and see. Oh my goodness, 3 inches. Okay, so Liz Kilmer is on the move again after that accident cleared on 228. Where are you now, Liz?
Yeah, guys, so we went by that crash scene, and it had been cleared. It looked to have been cleared for a while, so what we had been stuck in, that may have just been residual delays. So we are now heading to another crash scene. This one reported on Elfinwild Road in Shaler Township. So we are heading there to check that out right now on Route 8, heading there. And I would say we are through the worst of what we saw this morning. I mean, now it's just a bit of a light flurry. I think the roads are looking pretty good, but we are, of course, watching for slick spots because it is below freezing, about 28 degrees according to our live truck thermometer. And the roads are very wet, still some slush, especially off to the side. So I want to tell folks, really be careful. A lot of salt trucks, they were out this morning. I mean, we saw a ton of plows, ton of salt trucks but you know, you just never know, and some of the side streets, those may be untouched, so be really careful and make sure you brush off your car before you leave. A lot of folks out here, it does not appear that they did that, so that is not good. That's hazardous, and it is actually against state law. So be careful out here, and again, we're going to update you once we get to that crash that's reported in Shaler Township. For now, back to you.
Yeah, as Liz mentioned, if you have to be out this morning, make sure if your car is outside, you clear off the entire car, not just part of the car, definitely for your safety and for the safety of others. Some of our PennDOT cameras beginning to ice up. Live look right now, Parkway North, Camp Horn Road. What I wanted to show you, though, is notice the lanes are in fairly good shape. Don't get me wrong. I don't want you to think heading out that if the lanes look clear, they're completely clear. There are patches of ice. There are areas of slush. Occasionally, there's a little snow. But now the sun's been up for a little bit. I know it's not out, but it's up. It helps with the energy that allows the heating of the ground, so the crews are able to get the roads taken care of much easier. Parkway North, Perrysville. Traffic pretty good coming in right now on the Parkway North, so again, give yourself a little extra time this morning as you head down towards the Crosstown Boulevard. Still a little slushy there, but as Tricia tells you all the time, bridges, overpasses, elevated areas pick up first. And what is Crosstown Boulevard? Basically one giant overpass. So you get the colder air on top, the colder air underneath. It helps the road freeze quicker, which is why you generally maintain more ice and snow on the bridges and the overpasses than you do on most of the rest of the roadways across the area. Live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar right now. Notice the live sweep going through Allegheny, Washington County. We're beginning to see some breaks. We started telling you yesterday morning on Channel 11 Morning News that the bulk of the snowfall, at least the steady, moderate snow, would be through about 9 o'clock this morning, then begin to taper off into scattered snow showers this afternoon. That's still on target. It's not like the snow is going to shut off at 9 a.m., but notice the brighter whites coming through Washington, Greene County right now. Then back behind it, it's mostly those lighter grays, so we'll continue to see some snow showers throughout the course of the day, maybe an additional inch or so here and there, but the bulk of the accumulating snow should be done by about 10 o'clock this morning. So heading out the door, temperature's about 30 degrees, ice scraper, heavy coat, and some patience as you get going for the morning this morning because roadways, especially those neighborhood streets, definitely still snow covered. Now, storm tracker at 9:30 this morning pulling the snow and beginning to pull it apart. Notice what happens this afternoon. It becomes much more scattered as all the energy with the storm system gets shunted off to the east coast. We get what's called cold air advection, a little bit of a west-northwest wind to pump in a couple snow showers this afternoon into early this evening. But by 9:30 tonight, it's really just some flurries except down into the mountains where they'll still have some snow showers, which is why this area will see a little more in the way of snow. Most areas, and this is total snowfall, what has already fallen plus what will fall, about 2 to 4 inches of snow. I was just looking at the reports from the National Weather Service on the snowfall amount so far. Most areas so far between 1.5 inches and 2.5 inches of snow, and I think we could pick up another 1 to an inch to 1.5 inches during the course of the day, which will put us at about 2 to 4 inches, then 3 to 6 inches southeast into the mountains. Forecast for today, that morning snow tapering off to some afternoon snow showers, 33 for the high temperature. We've pretty much already been there. Most of the day today we'll spend in the upper 20s. Now, much quieter weekend. Just had some people ask me on Twitter, is this snow going to stick around so we can do some sled riding this weekend? Absolutely. Temperatures tonight dropping down well into the 20s. Tomorrow, just back above freezing with a good deal of clouds. So some good sled riding weather tomorrow. Might even get a couple flakes of snow during the afternoon. If we do get a snow shower tomorrow, it's going to be late in the day. It's going to be relatively weak. Not talking any big accumulation in that high of 34 degrees. Then Sunday, mostly cloudy, 40, and snow will begin to melt heading into next week. Monday, we're looking at 45 degrees with some rain showers. Then Tuesday, mostly cloudy skies and 46 degrees. Guys?
Fortunately, what all that means and what Scott just said is the snow is not going to be melting in my driveway. I'm going to have to shovel it, or I'm going to have to find one of those kids who's off of school today to get them to shovel it.
You're going to have to be all super dad and go outside with your daughter.
That's why the kids are off of school. That's what they're there for.
We've been on television and streaming so long that the dayside crews are now starting to come in. So Tony Ruffalo just tweeted out, he's one of our photographers, he just tweeted out video of residential streets in McCandless, and they are hardly touched. They are snow covered. So if you're just heading out this morning, please be careful. Let's send things over to Tricia Pittman. What's the latest, Tricia?
And we are getting reports of some new accidents. You can see see here, Parkway West in the area of Robinson Town Center, some vehicles off to the side of the road. And PennDOT actually said that it's not necessarily as much as an accident as vehicles sliding off to the side of the road trying to approach that ramp. As I've told you before, when crews go out to treat the roads, they treat the mainline lanes and then they get to the on and off ramps. So some of those on and off ramps could be a little slick. You're supposed to reduce your speed when you get to the off-ramp anyway, so keep that in mind this morning. Also, accident on Interstate 70, and this is 70 westbound at the 79 North Junction. You can see those heavier delays now starting to build through the Washington area, so heads up there. One eastbound lane being blocked by emergency crews as well. 79 southbound near Cannonsburg, vehicle spun out into the median, seeing some heavier northbound lanes through that area. And we know by seeing meteorologist Stephanie Allison in that area that snow is continued to fall there in Washington County throughout the morning. 79 around Wexford, not too bad. So 79 north and southbound around Wexford and Warrendale, pretty decent this morning. Not finding any significant delays. 79 in the Bridgeville area, just occasionally tapping the brakes this morning. And take a look, you can see those drive times at about 25 minutes. Parkway East, 28, and Parkway North, and then 35 minutes on the Parkway West. So drive times pretty decent on the parkways, because when we see a situation like this, parkways are treated first, then those side roads, secondaries and tertiaries are addressed. So it takes a little bit longer to get to the main roads. So navigating those side roads could still be tricky in some communities.
All right, thanks, Tricia. Mike Holden been on the north side all morning long.
And that we have seen cars slipping and sliding out there. Let's check in for the latest.
Conditions have been ever-changing in the city of Pittsburgh, specifically right here on the north side, where we went from light rain to snow to, well, this situation. We've been tracking the conditions since roughly 3 o'clock this morning, and yes, it has not been easy, especially for the drivers who've been trying to navigate Federal Street right here. Some of them are doing better than others. Then you have these people who are coming downhill, pumping the brakes, some of them driving with hazards on, and it has been very challenging because we haven't seen a whole lot of road crews, and we understand why. They are trying to prioritize. They're going to the primary roads first, then circling back to the secondary roads. It's a slushy, messy situation out here, and on top of that, too, well, look at the side roads. Not looking too hot either. They've been driven over repeatedly throughout the course of this morning, so that means if you don't have great tires, you're probably going to run into some issues. I also want to recommend this to anyone who is out and about, especially if you're walking, heading to the bus stop, waiting for Port Authority buses as the snow comes at us sideways. The Port Authority has said prepare for delays up to 20 minutes in some spots, so patience is important, so are the layers, and of course, give them the thumbs up. Have a good morning, guys. Have a good day. I'm going to send it back to you in the studio. For now, reporting on Pittsburgh's north side, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
All right, thanks, Mike. Now we're going to go out to Liz Kilmer out on Route 18, approaching Hampton right now.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We're traveling through Hampton Township on our way to Shaler for reports of a crash on Elfinwild Road. So we're going to go check that out and let you know what we see. Now, meantime, I think that we are seeing improvement out here for sure. I mean, right now the roads are basically just very slushy, not coated or as covered as they were earlier this morning. We really haven't been dealing with any slipping or sliding, which is a good thing, but really you still want to be cautious. It is 28 degrees according to our live truck's thermometer, and so anything that's wet could freeze, but we do know that crews were really out and about working hard this morning, throwing down salt. We saw a ton of plows and salt trucks all over the region. We spent most of our morning, several hours in Butler County, and we watched it go from sleet to flurry to really, really heavy snow, and then conditions deteriorated pretty rapidly. But I think right now we are seeing some improvement after the roads were really snow-coated. Then quickly, once it became, once we saw the morning commute get started, then I think a lot of the snow-coated roads where we were having some traction then just became very, very sort of slushy and slick. But I think that we're in pretty good shape now. Things are certainly looking up at those side streets. Those could be in rough shape. So again, we're going to head to this crash and we'll keep you posted on what we find out there. Back to you.
Jennifer Tomazik here on the breaking news desk. It was just looking at a tweet from Allegheny County about their snow plan for this morning. So let me just go over this with you here. It says as the snow continues to fall, we are urging drivers to be extra cautious. They have 27 salt trucks out within Allegheny County. That's the Allegheny County Public Works Department. They are out there. They've gone over the roads at least twice, but because of the intensity of the snow, they say that those, of course, are getting snow covered again. They say they are going to be continuously treating the roads until the conditions improve, and then as soon as that precipitation stops, it'll make it easier for them to get out there. So they're going to keep monitoring it, and they are thanking you for your patience as drivers out there, because it certainly has been challenging for everybody this morning. I want to show you some pictures from around the area. These are 3 new pictures just got together for you. Speaking of Allegheny County, this is Shaler. This is a nice view of a neighborhood street, and you can see that this one is still pretty snow covered. You can notice how much snow is on the roofs as well as the cars out there too. Also want to go over here now. I think we're going out to Baden. This is a look at 65, and you can see that there certainly is some slush that both Liz and Mike and Stephanie have been telling us about there out on the roads this morning. And one final picture here in this segment for you, Route 22. It's kind of off into the distance there, but you can see it looks okay. Looks like the traffic is moving just along fine, but if you'll notice in the lower right left-hand corner, it looks like that's a car dealership, and there certainly is a lot of snow out on those cars this morning. So I'll keep looking for updates, and if I have anything more I need to share with you, I'll come back here on the breaking news desk. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Jennifer. And she just showed you that video from Murraysville. We're just seeing a tweet that Murraysville police put out saying that 380 westbound is shut down due to road conditions. They say multiple vehicles are stuck on the roadway, and they're telling people find an alternate route.
And Tricia just pulled up her map for that area. What can you tell us, Tricia?
Well, they didn't give an exact crossroad, so this right here is 380 coming out toward the Sardis area. We are seeing a bit of a delay here at the area of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and then also out toward Penn Hills, a little bit of slow-going traffic as well. So I'm going to try to get some additional information on that and get a crossroad for you. Keep in mind, as I mentioned, that many of those side roads still have some snow cover, and even the main roads that have been treated are now getting reports of some additional slick or icy conditions in some areas. Any area that's elevated here in western Pennsylvania, we have many steep roads, many elevations, and those areas, cars having a little bit of trouble making their way up steep inclines and hills. So just keep all of that in mind. It's going to be a situation there where they're going to have to bring out some salt trucks, and then once they're able to treat the roadway, hopefully get those vehicles moving once again. 70 westbound approaching the 79 North Junction, we have an accident just up from that. An accident in the Cannonsburg area. Vehicle spun out there into the median. Parkway West out around the area of Robinson, 2230, getting reports of some vehicles spinning out and then sliding off to the side of the road, so heads up there at Robinson. Parkway East in the area of the Churchill interchange, not finding any heavy delays. Same deal 79 at Crafton. Main roads overall pretty decent, just a 20-minute ride. Parkway East in 28, 25 minutes on the Parkway North. Still elevated on the Parkway West as those delays continue to build on the far side of Green Tree Hill. Meteorologist Stephanie Allison has been in Washington County. We've been seeing snowfall through that area all morning long, getting reports of numerous accidents as well. Stephanie, what have you been seeing currently?
Tricia, we certainly have. Snow has been falling. It has been moderate to heavy throughout the morning. There's been some folks slipping and sliding on the road on Route 19. I'm here now in Washington, so I came from Cannonsburg, McMurray area, where we did see some tricky spots on the roadways. Right now, I'm in Washington, and this is 70, right before the interchange where you get on 79 to go north. So the road here looks good, but the lane there you can see on the left-hand side, the left lane is covered. This is 3 lanes here, and one of those lanes is covered here this morning. So there are some spots that we still have some snow-covered roads, especially those secondary roads. I know Gordon just said Cannon Mac is canceled today. Trinity is also canceled. So I'm in Washington County. The roads aren't in great shape. Slushy mess out there. If you don't need to be outside this morning, just take the kids out and have a nice snowball fight. We have great snow for that this morning. I'll continue to keep an eye on the roads here this morning. Back to you.
Sounds like a perfect idea, Stephanie. Thank you. We're going to pause again for just a few moments so we can join our live weather coverage on Channel 11.
We'll be right back. Team 11 coverage at 7:55 as we continue our coverage on a snow-filled and slick morning commute. Good morning, I'm Gordon Lash.
And I'm Catherine Amenta. We are in 11 alert. More than 500 school closings and delays scrolling 2 at a time at the bottom of your screen all morning. That includes Pittsburgh Public Schools. They are closed.
And we want to get to severe weather. Team 11 meteorologist Scott Harbaugh. And Scott, are you still seeing the heavy snow out there?
Yeah, just in a couple of spots. And I want to point this out to you on Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. This last bit of bright white coming into Allegheny County in the Mon Valley. Back behind it is that lighter color, so lighter snow. Live looking at downtown Pittsburgh. I was able to see downtown just about 3 minutes ago. Can't right now. You get the fog, the low-hanging clouds, and the snow. Visibility in most areas right now less than 3 miles, and your snowfall total by the time all is said and done, 2 to 4 inches Pittsburgh, Washington, Butler, 3 to 6 inches east toward Little Laurel Highlands. Much quieter weekend, 34 tomorrow with just a late day snow shower. Guys?
8:27 on this Friday morning.
Yeah, this morning snow giving Tricia Pittman a lot to talk about. Her live coverage in 30 seconds.
I've now seen about 30 accidents being reported. I just quick wanted to pull this map up for you. This is McKnight Road in the area of Babcock Boulevard, getting reports of an accident here causing some delays for you, and also 70 westbound at the 79 North Junction. Parkway West outbound at Robinson Town Center, an accident. Parkway East just seeing some slow going traffic, although overall not too bad on the parkways. Still an elevated drive time on the Parkway West.
Show is next, and we will continue live streaming on our mobile devices.
We'll have more live coverage on Channel 11 coming up at 8:55.
the snow is slowing down, but it is already making things a real mess as you head out this morning.
Good Friday morning. I'm Gordon Lush.
And I'm Catherine Amente. We remain in 11 alert. Pittsburgh public schools closed. More than 500 school closings and delays, scrolling 2 at a time at the bottom of your screen. Yeah,
that list has been growing all morning. Again, more than 500 at this point. Let's talk about something else, though. Well, let's talk about this. Right here, we've got to look at some of the conditions on some of the side streets. This is one of our photographers that sent this in.
Tony Ruffalo. He's actually on his way into work, and he got this video for us safely from a Channel 11 traffic tracker setup. And as you can see, the back roads not too good right now.
Yeah, see, that's the big issue. It's a lot of these side streets, the back roads that haven't been treated yet, and that's what's slowing down a lot of people. So crews still have to get to them. We've already broken a record for winter snowfall this year.
Yeah, officially at Pittsburgh International, a little more than 3 inches of snow. Washington, Monessen, 3 inches. New Brighton, Beaver County, 1.6. What's wrong with you?
Step up your game.
Join us. Join us at that 3-inch mark. Winter weather advisory across the area until 1 o'clock this afternoon. National Weather Service generally issues a winter weather advisory when the possibility is there for at least 3 inches of snow over a 12-hour period. Now, not everyone's going to make it to that 3-inch mark, but enough spots that they felt the advisory was necessary. Tricia Pittman and I have been keeping an eye on the PennDOT cameras live all morning long since we got into work well before 4 o'clock this morning. Notice I-79 Wexford right now looking pretty good. We're starting to see some of those main arteries as the snow is easing up just a little bit, and the sun's been up for about an hour. Road crews are able to take care of many of those roads a lot easier than they were a couple of hours ago when there was no extra energy from the daylight. I-79, 279 split. I can see 4 lanes of traffic there. First time I've been able to see that all morning. Route 28 over toward Etna. Still a little bit of snow in the middle of the lanes, but all told, keep in mind, that's a ramp, so it's an exit ramp, so the main road's in fairly decent shape right now. Robinson Town Center, the Parkway West, same deal. A lot of water and a little bit of slush on some of those area roadways. Here's live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar. Scanning the skies right now. There's the live sweep through Beaver, Lawrence, and Butler counties. And notice we're starting to get some breaks in the snow in southwestern Allegheny County into Washington County as well. Now, as we go through the next couple of hours, we'll begin to see the snow continue to ease. Here's the last batch of that brighter white. And I've been talking about that all morning. The bright white on storm tracker Doppler 11 radar is that more moderate to heavy snow. Back behind this, it falls apart. You get a couple areas where you might get a little burst of some moderate snow, but for the most part, much lighter back to the southwest over the next couple of hours. And Storm Tracker shows this. By this afternoon, we're talking scattered snow showers across the area. And any additional accumulation during the afternoon hours will be relatively minimal, except in the mountains where you could pick up a couple more inches this afternoon into this evening before the whole thing begins to shut off. Snowfall forecast. This is the total for the day today. What fell already and what's going to fall over the next couple hours. General swath of 2 to 4 inches of snow, and most areas will be closer to the 3-inch mark than 3 to 6 inches as you head into the mountains, and that will continue into the evening hours as well. For the kids today, noontime 31 degrees. Some districts still on a 2-hour delay, although many districts have decided to close for the day. Weekend looks a little bit better. Temperatures push into the 30s tomorrow, and then by Sunday, we're pushing to near 40 degrees for the high temperature on Sunday with mostly cloudy skies. I apologize. Am I sending it to anyone? We going live anywhere? Jennifer Tomazik at the breaking news desk with the latest on some of the snow across the area. Jennifer?
All right, Scott, thanks so much. And I do want to show you some new video that Drone 11 just captured. It's really a nice view from our station over to the Parkway North. So there you see WPXI, you know, if you're driving into the city in the Parkway North, you see it off to the left-hand side. Here's a nice view of kind of the slow crawling traffic on the Parkway North this morning. Scott was just mentioning in his little hit there a couple seconds ago that he's finally able to start seeing some of those lanes. It's the first time we've really noticed that out there this morning. So I have been communicating with folks with PennDOT, just trying to find out their plan, and they told me that, you know, a lot of the interstates are wet, some of them are slushy, but they say keep in mind a lot of those ramps are still snow covered out there, and secondary routes they're saying pretty much kind of vary at this point. So we'll certainly stay in touch with PennDOT. I've also reached out to the city of Pittsburgh trying to see what their plan is. So if I happen to hear back from them before the end of this little streaming cast, I'll come back in here on the Breaking News Desk. Back to you.
And that was an awesome view from Drone 11 from above. The roads look fantastic, but if you're down below, not too good.
Much different perspective down there, yeah.
Tricia, how are we looking? I know you're busy back there.
Actually, just getting reports of a road being closed because of icy conditions. So first, let's take a look right now at our Channel 11 traffic tracker. Still 5119, seeing some pretty heavy delays approaching the Liberty tubes. Earlier this morning, we had an accident on the Liberty Bridge. Plus, in addition to that, we had a disabled vehicle inside the tubes coming from the South Hills toward the bridge. So combination of the two created some pretty heavy delays this morning. So we're keeping an eye on those situations. Now, in addition to that, let's talk a little bit about the situation that we're seeing on roads now. Initially, we were getting reports of accidents mainly due to snow. So crews went out, they treated the road. There was snow that came down on top of that rock salt, and then they had a situation where cars start to drive over the snow, creates a little bit of a slick condition, and either some of the salt gets washed away or any area that just is untreated gets a little bit of ice on it. So now we're getting reports of icy conditions, and with those icy conditions, crews are shutting down some area roadways just to allow some extra time for salt trucks to get out there again. So in the meantime, Glass Run Road right now closed because of slick conditions between Tom's Fleet Service and Walton Road. That one being reported, as well as we heard from Murraysville Police that they're shutting down portions of 380 because of the same situation where we're getting reports of icy conditions. Cars cannot get traction. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if you know this, Pittsburgh, a little hilly, just a little bit. So hard for cars to get traction up those hills in many areas where we see those inclined streets. Accident on Felicity Avenue, Elfinwald Road in the area of Route 8. Car slid off to the side of the road there. Police are on the scene, as well as Liz Kilmer now on the scene for us this morning, reporting from there. Interstate 70 had an earlier accident at 79. That has since cleared. Traffic once again at the 79 North Junction starting to move. One vehicle here off to the side of the road looks actually like a tow truck from that earlier accident that we saw Parkway West outbound at Robinson. I wanted to show you the Parkway East because we're not seeing any significant delays on the Parkway East around Forest Hills, Wilkinsburg, Churchill. Looks pretty decent this morning. Coming across the West End Bridge right now, a little heavy and slow out toward the West End Circle, although nothing out of the ordinary for the most part. And then again, we are keeping an eye on those drive times, which overall, it's not the main roads that we're seeing the significant delays along or the issues. It's those side roads, the secondaries, tertiaries, outlying areas. So navigating those side roads, that's the tricky part right now. Meteorologist Stephanie Allison has been in Washington County for us throughout the morning in the McMurray area, keeping an eye on the road conditions. Now, Stephanie, earlier we checked in with you. We were seeing that you were getting covered with snow every time you came out of the vehicle. What does it look like now?
It's much better now. Snowflakes are much smaller, and it's a light snow coming down now. We are on McKinnon Avenue, just off Bow Street. Washington County School District is closed. Trinity School District is closed, and this is why. Look at the snow-covered roads here. These secondary roads are a mess, and look how much snow is on the car. We got a lot of snow and ice underneath the snow. So it is slippery, and of course the sidewalks that have not been touched. We had that rain in Washington earlier, so they're icy underneath the snow, especially the roads that aren't treated. So as you can see just behind me, they're covered, and you know, it's great snow to kind of play in. So a lot of sled riding going on in Washington County today for the kids that have their school closed. That's Trinity and Washington. Also, Cannon Mac is closed as well. We were up in that area. Route 19 is a slushy mess, and we have snow-covered roads across the region, and that is going to continue this morning as crews are out treating. I keep seeing snow plows go past, so that is good. Bow Street looks like it's in pretty good shape. Just watch for those slippery spots, and we'll keep you updated on Facebook and Twitter and live here streaming throughout the morning.
Thank you, Stephanie. She's done a great job, by the way. She's been at a different location pretty much every time we go back to her, moving from Cannonsburg out to Washington now.
Right now, we want to go over to Liz Kilmer, who is out of her traffic tracker. Liz, I'm looking at this picture that you tweeted of this crash in Shaler Township. Looks like it's in a tricky spot.
Yeah, guys, so like you said, we're here in Shaler Township, just off Route 8, and the crash is actually on Felicity Avenue. I'm going to step out of the way. So this is kind of parallel to Route 8 here, but more of a back windy road, and you can see it looks like a vehicle, black vehicle there just slid off the side of the road. So it's unclear if maybe earlier there was another vehicle involved, but right now we're just seeing that one car, or one SUV rather, and then police are on scene here. Tow truck looks to be on scene as well. And then the road, I want to note too, Felicity Avenue is closed right where it intersects there with Route 8, so you're not able to access the road from Route 8 at this time. So this is just one of dozens of crashes that we've been covering all morning long. There were at times this morning, conditions were really hazardous. We watched them just deteriorate. We went on early this morning at 4 a.m., started out seeing some sleet, then we moved up to Butler County, started seeing flurries, and then it was just a really consistent and steady, heavy snow. We watched the roadways, main roadways, quickly get snow covered. At times we couldn't even see where the lanes were, see the lines on the roads, but now it does look like things are a little bit better. We're seeing pavement now, just a lot of slush on roadways, but it is still coming down, as you can see here. So we're going to continue traveling throughout the area. We're going to get back into our live truck from here and check out conditions and bring them to you live throughout the rest of this live newscast, or live online newscast. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Liz. I want to give you an update, by the way, on that situation out on Route 380 westbound. Murraysville police earlier said that it was shut down. Cars were stuck out there. They just put out a message just a few seconds ago saying that 380 is open, but still congested. Expect some delays. And Tricia Pittman just yelled over to us and said there are other roadways, though, that are now being shut down because vehicles are getting stuck out there. And it's not just one spot. She said there are numerous roads being shut down. She's going to have more on that in just a minute.
The problems certainly do continue. We want to head out to Mike Holden, who joins us live from the Manchester neighborhood. Mike, what are you seeing?
Good morning to you guys. So it almost feels like at this point it's gotten colder and a little windier. Beforehand, we were on Pittsburgh's north side, technically right along Federal Street. We changed things up, and we're now located right near the corner of Allegheny Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue. We can see these guys have been shoveling for the last half hour, 45 minutes or so. I don't know what the strategy is. Shout out. What do you think of this so far this morning? Like, where does this match up to prior Pittsburgh snowfalls? Have you lived here your entire life?
Yeah, I've lived here my whole life, and it's slowed down over the years. I mean, it's what, just the first major snowfall in the whole winter, pretty much.
There have been, like, multiple accidents, one after the next this morning. So what do you think the problem is this morning, and what was the big issue for you getting out the door for work?
Just people not being used to the snow and just driving a little more scared, I guess. But other than that, I've been getting around.
You've been doing okay.
Yeah.
What's your recommendation to people heading out the door this morning?
Take it slow, be safe, and take their time. No rush to get that work to do. Safety first.
Thank you so much. What was your name?
Eric.
Eric, I appreciate you. Pittsburgh's north side or where?
North side?
Yeah, is that where you live?
No, I live in Lawrenceville.
Oh, okay. Shout out. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was so nice. So if you just heard that, or if you're just joining us or just catching up, Eric essentially said, lifelong Pittsburgh resident, it's not necessarily the high volume of snow. It's the fact that this was one of our major snow events this season, and people just aren't used to it. I mean, if you grew up here, you're like, this is 1 to 3 inches. It ain't that bad. But then you get on the roadways, and you're not adjusted to the snowfall and the accumulation, and then you factor in the changing temperatures. It's hard to adjust to. We've been checking with Pittsburgh Public Safety. We've been checking with other additional crews. And we can tell you this, the city, specifically Public Works, has had 60-plus crews on the road, treating the roadways, throwing down the salt, trying to plow up whatever they can. But the problem is they're playing catch-up now. Obviously, they're going to go to the mains first, then they're going to come to the side streets. So we've been getting various reports on Facebook and other outlets reporting, I haven't seen a single plow on my street. Where are the plows at? They're going to get there. It's just taking some time. And Scott Harbaugh cannot say it enough. He has repeated it often throughout the course of this morning. I swear to you, the man is never wrong. He said straight up, the problem with the snowfall was the timing of this. The timing of this event with everyone heading out the door for work and school. Luckily, those kids don't have to wait out at the bus stop because we reported quite a few closings and delays. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this story. I'll let you know if conditions change. What's crazy, though, now is I don't even know what time it is. I wish I could see my watch. Maybe 8:40 this morning, and the snow is still coming down here in Manchester. Reporting live in Pittsburgh's Manchester neighborhood, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News, sending it over to you in the studio.
Mike, thank you for thinking I'm never wrong. There's an envelope with cash on your desk when you get back. Winter weather advisory continues till 1 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, Mike said this is not a catastrophic amount of snow, but we've had barely any snow this winter. Coming into today, we've only had about 13 inches of snow the entire winter. That's about half of normal. Today we're going to be closer to 4, so we've had about a third of as much of snow today as we've seen so far this entire winter season. We're starting to get the main roads back into better shape now. The sun's been up for a while. The snow's beginning to ease. PennDOT cameras, live look. I-79 Wexford, pretty good shape. The 279-79 split mainly wet right now. You head down the pike a little bit toward Etna, having a hard time with the cameras updating, but even Etna is in pretty good shape along Route 28 right now. And then you head out toward Robinson Town Center. It is mainly wet as you head out on the Parkway West. So the next couple of hours, snow will continue to ease. Notice on live storm tracker Doppler 11 radar, still snow in the area, but notice the breaks starting to form. Allegheny County into Washington County. So we're starting to get a couple areas where that snow is starting to let up. Now, what I've been showing you throughout the morning is I've been following these areas of brighter white. You got one right now stretching from about Saxonburg, southeastern Butler County through North Huntington, Irwin, Connellsville, down to Ohio Pod. This is where the heavier band of snow is. This lighter stuff, it's the more fine snow. It's a light snow. It's smaller snowflakes. Doesn't accumulate as easily. So as we go through the course of the next couple of hours, you'll notice the snow begins to ease up. And Storm Tracker shows this. 11 o'clock this morning, some breaks in the Pittsburgh and Washington area. Then this afternoon, we'll kick in some snow showers from time to time. And there will be some icy areas for the evening commute, no doubt, but nothing like this morning's commute where we just had to deal with about 5 straight hours of snow. Total snowfall is going to end up being about 2 to 4 inches of snow. Officially right now, Pittsburgh International last report just over 3 inches. So that is the biggest single-day snow we've seen so far this winter season. Way back on November 13th, before winter even officially began, before Thanksgiving, we picked up 3 inches of snow on the 13th. That was the largest single-day snowfall until today. 3 to 6 inches total in the mountains, and some of the highest elevations, maybe the ski resorts near Seven Springs, Hidden Valley, down toward Wisp, could top out near 7 inches of snow. This afternoon, temperatures in the 30s. We're going through the weekend. Much quieter weekend. Guys?
Right now, we want to send things over to Tricia Pittman, 848. And Tricia, you said you're starting to see a lot of road closures.
Yes, so we have a lesson in ice. Okay, let's look Parkway North here on the camera, Bellevue, Westview. See that ice that is covering our camera? That same ice now starting to coat area roadways. We're getting reports of poor road conditions. Keep in mind, again, we have a lot of elevated areas, so bridges, overpasses, on and off ramps could see some icing conditions, especially those untreated surfaces. And then also, we have many elevated roadways, as Pittsburgh is quite hilly, so a lot of those elevated roads, or excuse me, inclined roads, are being shut down. Keeping an eye right now on Robinson Street. If you're familiar with Robinson coming off of 5th, it's a straight shot up the hill, up to the pool, over to the Pete. They have Robinson blocked off right now, waiting for those salt crews to come out and treat that area. In addition to that, we also have reports of Glass Run Road being closed between Tom's Fleet Service and Walton Road throughout the morning. We've had numerous accidents throughout the South Hills over toward the Glenwood interchange. Traffic a little heavy and slow at times as well. Accident that Liz Kilmer's keeping an eye on for us. This is a vehicle that slid off to the side of the road. We're getting numerous reports of cars sliding off to the side of the road. We had one just into a creek, I believe. So at this point this morning, keep in mind that ice is going to become an issue for you. Felicity Avenue at Elfinwild Road, where it comes down to Route 8. That's where Liz is on the scene of a car that slid off to the side of the road. Parkway West, not bad. Looks pretty decent approaching the Parkway Center Mall. Parkway East, a little heavy and slow here around the area of Edgewood, Swissvale. And so your drive times on the main roads actually pretty decent overall, but it's those side roads, outlying areas, that's where you're going to have trouble navigating the roadways.
All right, thanks, Tricia. We want to talk to somebody who's been out there dealing with this messy morning.
Jason Molinaro with the Allegheny County Department of Public Works. Jason, good morning. Thank you for joining us here at almost 9 a.m. What is your biggest concern? Where is that right now?
Good morning. Yeah, I think the timing of this storm is, especially problematic. We have a lot of people trying to get to work this morning, and we have our crews. Currently, 27 salt trucks are deployed with plows right now, trying to get our roads cleared. And, it's a lot to try to navigate between all the commuters and stuff. So just try to be mindful when you're commuting this morning for our folks that are out there trying to treat the roads.
And is your staffing going to change at all today, Jason? How is it going to develop and change as the snow tapers off?
Yeah, sure. So we've had our crews out since 2 a.m. Deployed, and they'll continue to be out there until the precipitation goes down and until the roads are cleared completely. We'll just maintain the current operational staff.
Jason, just one more question for you. Mike Holden was just talking about this, that people maybe on social media are saying or posting pictures saying, well, this road's not clear, my road's not clear. What is your best advice for everybody on this Friday morning?
Yeah, I absolutely. If residents are finding any particular areas on a county road or bridge that are especially problematic or having issues, they have an opportunity to submit that information to 412-350-INFO, or at our Allegheny County website. You can submit a concern on there as well. So we need people as our eyes and ears out there as well.
Jason, we appreciate it, and great message there. And be sure to thank all the workers for everything they're doing for us this morning. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
All right, now we're going to send it back out to Liz Kilmer. She was at the scene of an accident earlier. Now back on the road, moving once again. Liz, where are you headed to, and what's it look like at that point?
Hey guys, so we are back on Route 8. We are now in Hampton Township. Just came from that crash in Shaler, although really what we were seeing was a vehicle that had slid off the roadway. That was Felicity Avenue. So I'm not sure if it had been a crash with another vehicle on the scene earlier, but it did then, from what we were seeing, it was really just one vehicle, and then police had the road blocked there, Felicity Avenue, and they were on scene with a tow truck as well. So right now we are traveling north again, Hampton Township, and I think really we have made it through the worst of what we saw this morning. I mean, earlier conditions really had deteriorated. Now we're really not seeing much of a precipitation, just a very light flurry, and the roads are still a little bit slushy, not as bad as what we had been seeing, though they are wet. And I do just want to remind folks, be careful because temperatures are below freezing. Our live truck thermometer is saying it's 28 degrees still, but the salt trucks were definitely busy. We saw a lot of salt trucks. We traveled all through Butler this morning and saw several of them, plows as well, so they have been working hard, but still be careful if you have to make your way out this morning. Back to you.
Liz, and speaking of plows, I want to show you what's happening within the city of Pittsburgh. I want to pull up our snowplow tracker within the city to show you where those plows are. You see those little purple lines? That is where they have been plowing. It seems like that's kind of their target area right now. That's what they're trying to do, is just plow, and then they can try to treat on top of that. And I bring this up because I've been reading their Twitter account, the Pittsburgh DPW account, and people are saying, I haven't seen any plows yet. And so the city has responded saying that we have 50 plows out on the streets, and you can track their location live. And that's what you're looking at here on this snowplow tracker. So you can always take a look at that, and I'm sure we have a link on our website as well, WPXI.com. Back to you guys.
And right now we want to send things back over to Tricia. Last time we saw you, Tricia, you were talking about the concern over ice now.
Sorry, I did not hear what you were saying.
That's all right. You're worried about ice.
I was trying to bring up a different camera. It wasn't working. So this is the problem that we're seeing out there this morning. We have icy conditions on numerous roadways where they're having to shut down the road just because drivers cannot navigate those streets. So we're getting reports of that happening in the South Hills and in Oakland. This is 79 here at Kilbuck. Want to remind you, those elevated areas, bridges, overpasses, on and off ramps, they could see the same icing conditions. Again, Robinson Street closed in Oakland, and then also a portion of Glass Run Road in the South Hills. Stephanie Allison has been keeping a great eye on the roads for us in Washington County. Stephanie, I still see a few snow flurries coming down there.
Yeah, it is still coming down here in Washington. You know, Trinity, Washington, and McGuffey, Cannon Mac, they're all closed today. And this snow just came in time for the morning commute, so causing a lot of issues. Right now I'm on McKinnon Avenue, just off Bow Street in Washington. And this is a snow-covered road. This is what they're dealing with, and this is why these schools are closed today, because there's a lot of work that needs done here this morning. There's also ice underneath this snow, so if you go out to dust your car off, you're going to need that ice scraper this morning. Back to you.
Stephanie, we appreciate it. Again, if you've been with us, we're going to pause for just a few minutes so we can join our live weather coverage on Channel 11.
Team 11 coverage right now at 8:56. You are looking live from two Channel 11 traffic trackers. It has been a bit of a mess in a lot of areas. Snow been falling all morning and a lot of accidents piling up. It has been a busy morning. Good morning. I'm Gordon Lesh.
And I'm Catherine Amenta. We want to get you right to severe weather Team 11 meteorologist Scott Harbaugh. Scott, everybody wants to know, when is the snow going to stop?
Heavy snow beginning to break up in Pittsburgh right now. Those brighter areas of white have now shifted off to Westmoreland County in Fayette County. You're still going to get some snow that will stick, but the bulk of the steady accumulating snow is done. 27 degrees, got light snow and some fog. And just see down to the north side right now. West-northwest wind at 17, giving us a wind chill in the teens right now. Snowy, icy roads and reduced visibility going to be a problem over the next couple of hours. Total snowfall through the day today, what's already fallen, plus what will fall. Generally 2 to 4 inches with 3 to 6 inches in the mountains. Tricia?
I want to remind everyone, those elevated areas, bridges, overpasses, on and off ramps, getting reports now of some slick conditions as the wind tends to whip underneath. So heads up here, 79 in the area of 65, one of those elevated areas. Also, Robinson Street closed in Oakland because it is a very steep hill and we're dealing with some icy conditions there. Same deal, Glass Run Road in the area of Walton this morning. Also keeping an eye on an earlier accident, Elfin Wild in the area of Route 8. Main roads, though, in pretty decent shape.
Tricia, thank you. In the last 30 minutes, Channel 11's Mike Holden moved over to the Manchester neighborhood in Pittsburgh.
And Mike, it is more the same out there. Everything covered in snow.
You guys hit the nail right there on the head. Look at this car, Pittsburgh's Manchester neighborhood. At least maybe 2 to 3 inches of snow right here. A stark contrast next to this white Volvo right in front of us. Multiple issues reported, primarily the side streets. Crews are out and about. We're checking in with them. City counting 60 crews total. In the meantime, I want to send it over to my colleague, Liz Kilmer, who's in one of Channel 11's traffic trackers.
Hey guys, so we are right now on Route 8, just north of Bakerstown in the Butler County area. Conditions have certainly improved from what we were seeing for most of the morning. The precipitation is much lighter, really just a flurry. We do have some slush. Certainly take it easy if you have to head out. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Liz. Our live coverage continues at 9:30. Scott and Tricia will be back to update you on the current conditions.
And make sure to tune in at noon. We'll have much more.
She was at the mercy of an evil person.
It's a story no Pittsburgher will soon forget. Nalani Johnson, found murdered in her car seat. Tonight, 11 investigates the Amber Alert system and why some say it failed Nalani.
If you don't get to the child in the first 3 hours, it's very likely something very bad's going to happen.
A timeline of that tragic day and why it took hours to notify the public. A Channel 11 News exclusive, The Alert that came too late, tonight at 11.
Nobody can read between the lines.
She's an 18-year-old girl. She got a settlement. You saw a little money. You wanted a big red truck.
Like Judge Judy.
Shiny, shiny, shiny red truck.
Judge Judy, weekdays at 4 and 4:30 on Channel 11.